because I've done meetings with different pastors, asking them, do you believe in black Jesus as a pastor? And he was like, let me tell you, my son, don't be confused by the things of dunia. And I'm like, Pastor, just tell me, what do you believe as a pastor? Do you believe that Jesus is black, or do you believe that Jesus is white? And one of them told me, like, have you ever seen anything good coming from Africa? Have you ever seen anything good coming from a black person? He was a pastor, black pastor, just telling me, in Africa, you see chaos. In Sudan, you see wars. In Congo, you see, how can Jesus be black and yet Africa or black people are the bad ones? And I was like, okay, preach on, pastor, preach on, pastor. I'm listening. I'm like, damn. So even black people or black pastors, even themselves, they don't believe in this, that they can be a black Jesus. Because I know you have come across people who are denying that Jesus is black, and you have come across even black people, even black pastors who are denying that, the fact that Jesus Christ. So before we enter into that, let us just know the basic. What do you think as a content creator now? What do you think that what happened that Jesus was became white? What really happened? What do you think happened that made Jesus to be known as white and is very popular as a white person?
Okay, first we have to know that it is through movies. You remember the famous movie about Jesus that was acted in 2010, and the people who acted this movie were the whites. So from that picture or from that movie, you'll find that a lot of people are depicting Jesus to be a white person, and it is through that Bible where when the missionaries came also, they gave the Africans the Bible, and these people were white actually. So it is through this that we believe that Jesus was a white, because Christianity actually also originated from the white people. That's how we believed, we as Africans. Now, from that point, you'll find that we are not only talking about the white Jesus. We are also saying that we have also been told that the white people are very, very superior. So that's it. So we believe that Jesus was also a white because he's superior.
So we can say that this all started when colonization started.
Yeah, it started with colonization. Then we went to the famous movie that was acted in 2010. It is through these people are still seeing the movie. And actually, even if you see that movie, you'll find that the pictures which are currently surrounding around Homestead, it is just showing the same picture of Jesus who they acted in 2010. Yeah, what you need to know that in most of the movies, you'll find that the black people usually act as a bad characters. Now, even if you go to those famous movies, you'll find a black person acting as a criminal, or as someone who a drug dealer. That's how it is. It is also the same way they depicted in that movie of Christ.
So as I was saying, even black people, we never had that mind to know that these people are acting according to the way they think. They are acting according to their nature, because they are white. They cannot turn black so that they can act. So sometimes I tend to believe even us black people manipulated ourselves, because we didn't have that knowledge to know that if an Indian is acting a movie about Jesus, he will be Indian. If a white person is acting a movie about Jesus, he's white. If a black person is acting movie about Jesus, he will act as black. If a red person is acting a movie about Jesus, he will act as red, because they will use their own actors. So we did not have that knowledge to know that these people are portraying Jesus according to their likes. So we carried that mentality this long. just knowing that Jesus is white, instead of knowing that if we are black, if we decide to act our own movie, if we decide to act these movies like 12 disciples, we will be black. So I think, in other hand, we manipulated ourselves.
We manipulated ourselves, that's true, but you have to know that before we manipulated ourselves, these people were really, really manipulating us. Like a white person will come to your village. I had a story that a white person will come to your village, then give you some small gifts, and those small gifts contain like sweets, clothes. Then they will tell you that give me that land. It is through the same way they told you that when I baptize you, you will go to heaven. Okay, so this is where people started believing about the white Jesus, and it is through this they indoctrinated many people into Christianity, and up to date, people are really, really outwashed about Christianity. Yeah, you all need to be very, very careful. Yeah.
Do you believe this saying that they are saying the Bible is a story of black people?
The Bible is a story of black people, and that is the truth. It is the truth, nothing else. Everything in that Bible depicts what happened in Africa and the black history at large. Yes.
Everyone who is watching here, please comment down there so that I can see you and I can thank you for being here. I have my brother here, Golden Boy or Clinton. Please comment down there if you are watching. I see you people who are watching. Comment down here so that I can say thank you to you personally. Today we are talking about black people denying black Jesus. We have made contents. We have go through research to see those white people who are denying black Jesus, and people are like, yeah, our brothers, you need to accept Jesus is black because it's never white again. But we are forgetting there are some black people, a lot of them. You cannot tell them that Jesus is black and they accept it. Have you come across them? I have some that I tell them that do you know Jesus is black? And they'll tell me, no. A black Jesus cannot heal someone. A black Jesus cannot. So there's a lot of black people who are in denial of black Jesus. Have you ever come across them?
Actually, I also experienced that when I was, long time I used to be a church boy, and I was really, really famous into churches. Now, there's a time the pastor came with a black cross that Jesus was crucified, and a black cross. Majority of us didn't accept that. We were not saying, they were saying that this can't be Jesus. Jesus must and have to be a white one. So we can't worship or we can't bow to a black Jesus. So I've come across several people who are also claiming that Jesus is actually a white. Now,
why do you think?
I wanted to say why Jesus. There is so much differences about the black Jesus and the. Have you ever heard about Yeshua?
Yeah, Yeshua.
So people are confusing the Yeshua and Jesus. Others are saying Yeshua was a black, and others are saying Jesus was a white one, and Jesus only talked about the white history, and Yeshua was also talking about the black people. So there's so much differences, and there's so much contradiction about these two people, where they're saying both of them are actually the saviors, but there's so much big differences between the Yeshua and Jesus.
Let me take this time to acknowledge, before you continue, let me acknowledge Afro Grenadian ambassador who is here. Let me acknowledge GV Sudarani. GV Sudarani, welcome. Afro Grenadian, thank you so much for supporting, brother. Okay, continue.
So what really, really matters is that, no, actually, I can say, as much as we are talking about the black Jesus and the white Jesus, what really matters is that we need to go back to our history. We need to go back to the museums. We need to go back to the temples. and see who actually the Jesus is. And a lot of histories are actually contained in that, the pyramid, which is in Egypt. Okay, when you go to
Yeah,
Egypt, you'll find a lot of histories containing the black people, right
yeah.
from farming to writings to many several activities which are actually being done to date.
Mm.
So me personally, I can say that Jesus was a black. At the same time, I can say Jesus was a white, because me, I was not there.
Yeah. You just told me right now, yeah, that that you are a church boy, you are going to church, but recently you are not going to church. What happened? What really changed you?
I can't
Do you
get you. Let me see. There's something here.
okay? Okay,
Okay.
thank you for
Oh
joining.
yeah.
Thank you
Are
for
you getting
joining,
me?
all of you. So I'm trying to ask you, you have just said you are a church boy, and right now you are opening a third
Yes.
eye. So you no longer going to church as you are no longer that religious as you used to be. Same to me. Same to me. I was okay. I was not a church boy, but I was forced to go to church by my grandmother. So I was going because of her. So the time I started being alone, I I left going to church. But it's not that I don't go to church, but I pray and I believe to the creator of my life. You know, I'm trying to say that because I'm pointing you in a position of do you believe that African people left their African spirituality and they went to Christian religion, or they went to religious during colonization? What do you think was happening before colonization? What do you think, or how was African uh, praising their creator? How are we worshiping? What yeah, how are we worshiping?
Okay, let me tell you something. Before the
Yeah.
colonizers came to Africa, a lot of you know that Africa is just a large continent, which
Mm,
with diverse, with different tribes, and also
mm,
there's so much different countries in Africa. Like we have 54 countries actually. So there are people who are really confusing Africa and a continent and a country. Now in a continent, you'll find, like, let's take Nigeria. Nigeria have different ways of worshiping. Like in each and every tribe in Nigeria, there is so much
yeah.
ways of worshiping and appeasing their gods. The same way when you come to Kenya, there are so many 42 tribes actually, and there are ways of worshiping their own god. Like we Luos, we used to face the lake. There are Gikus who
Yeah,
used
you
to
used to
face
face the leg.
the 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 mountain. There are others who used to worship under the tree.
Yeah.
There are many people who also worship under the shrine. Now, when the colonizers came, they really
Mm-hmm.
gave us the Bible. And they told us that in order for you to go to heaven, I need to give you a Christian name. And this Christian name has to be in English. Like you'll find that
Mm.
a lot of Africans actually are having the English word, are having the English
Livingstone.
name. Yeah,
Mm.
like you'll find that Livingstone, like me, for example, like my brother was called Nixon because he was
Yeah.
baptized, but actually was
Okay.
called Alfred. Okay, so
Mm.
there are so many ways that
Mm.
these people really did us dirty, and it is through the mindset. They really attacked our mind. Up to date, you'll find that majority of Africans can't think on their own. Like look at majority of the African leaders. They can't
Mm.
think on their own. They can't make decisions on their own. They depend on the Europeans because they believe that these people can give us
Mm.
the best decisions. And actually, these people are not giving the best decisions. They are not making Africa to be a great one again. So
Mm.
the thing is that these colonizers, these missionaries came to Africa, built schools, built churches. Then in these churches, they started educating or indoctrinating the Christianity. Actually, you'll find that there are so many people who could not attend schools because
Mm.
they never had a Christian name. they were not actually baptized. So it is through this way that you'll find that, okay, before that, I want to say that I'm just using a context of someone who was giving me stories. And he was saying that before these people, these colonizers came, these missionaries came, they had actually had to clear out the elder people. Like they were killing these elder people. So when they are killing you, it is these elder people who contain a lot of information about a certain community. So when they get killed, these elders are not going to educate the younger ones on how to continue on their living on their lifestyle, or to continue of what their ancestors were doing. So it is through this way that these people were being indoctrinated, because the youths never had words. They never had ways of continuing with their ancestors' way. So they had to actually pick the Christianity. Okay?
Yeah.
It's through
Yeah.
this way that people were being indoctrinated.
I see Afro-Grenadian ambassador saying, I personally believe that the Bible was misused to control our ancestors. I believe that the Bible was misused to control our ancestors. Do you believe that? That the Bible was misused to control our ancestors?
I can't get you. I don't know what is happening. Shit.
I can hear you personally.
Okay, you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you. Now,
Okay, bring your
as
question.
he's setting his gadget, what do you think? Like the title is saying, is black people are denying black Jesus. Have you ever came across a black person and you have told him about the discovery of black Jesus, and they are like, no, 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 black Jesus, damn, it can't happen. A black Jesus cannot. Let me tell you something. I'm not exaggerating, but it's only a black person who can say that I am going to my father. Where I am going, you don't know. And the time I'll be back, you will not know. And now it's like 2,000 years. He hasn't come back. It's only a black person. Okay. Okay. My question was, do you believe the Bible was misused to control our ancestors? Was the Bible misused to control our ancestors?
The Bible was misused, and actually there are
Mm-hmm.
also some parts of the Bible which were removed. Some chapters of the Bible which were removed. So currently we are having 66 chapters total. Is it 66? 66 something. But actually the original one had 77 chapters.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some of the chapters which were removed simply to hide the truth from the black people or the Africans. So the Bible totally is talking about the Africans. And even
Yeah.
if you go to the originality, you'll find that there are some of the stories which are not linking up according to the Bible. Like right after Cain was killed, uh, where did other people come out from? Where did these people come from? Because we only know that we had 4 people in the world. Okay, we had Abel, Adam, Cain, and see what. So does it mean that these people used to marry, or does it mean that there are some of the ways that they were hiding the truth from Africans? So it is really irrelevant. The Bible is irrelevant, according to me. It is irrelevant.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's a pastor I was talking to him, and we are educating ourselves, and he told me that when Putin came out with that the picture of Black Jesus from the archives, he told me that it was just like a way of fighting the West country, the country they are they are fighting. Like, do you know like, so the people to believe Russia and don't believe what the whites or what the Westerners are saying. I'm like, a lot of stories is coming out from the
There,
discovery.
okay, what you need to know before even you
Mm,
know, the people who are really knows the truth are the Black
mm,
Americans. These are the people who have lived with the oppressors. These are the people who are seeing police brutality, daily killings. These are the people who knows what really happening to their daily lives. So they also know the reason behind why these West Europeans are hiding the truth from the Africans. Actually, when you go to that story, you'll find that the people who are not having that knowledge were actually the Africans. And Africans didn't have that knowledge about the black Jesus. They only know about the white Jesus because the media showed them that they actually have the white Jesus. So the people really know the truth, and they know what is really happening in this world are the black Americans. Majority of the black Americans are awoke. Yes. So the Africans are still
Somebody told
sleeping.
me,
And, yeah.
somebody told me if the Bible was really the word of God, it could end all this chaos that we see in our countries. Like could end the wars, it could end this issue of drought. So they are trying to say Bible is not really the word of God. I heard that from Maponga Joshua. Is it Joshua or Joseph Maponga? He said that
Joshua,
the Bible is not Joshua Maponga. It's not really the word of God. And I think us, the youths, if you don't take your time to research, we are confused, or we are confusing ourselves more and more, because I've done meetings with different pastors, asking them, do you believe in black Jesus as a pastor? And he was like, let me tell you, my son, don't be confused by the things of dunia. And I'm like, Pastor, just tell me, what do you believe as a pastor? Do you believe that Jesus is black, or do you believe that Jesus is white? And one of them told me, like, have you ever seen anything good coming from Africa? Have you ever seen anything good coming from a black person? He was a pastor, black pastor, just telling me, in Africa, you see chaos. In Sudan, you see wars. In Congo, you see. How can Jesus be black, and yet Africa or black people are the bad ones? And I was like, okay, preach on, pastor, preach on, pastor. I'm listening. I'm like, damn. So even black people or black pastors, even themselves, they don't believe in this, that they can be a black Jesus. They just saying that, black people are not civilized, black people are criminals, black people are blah blah blah. So that means Jesus can never be black. Jesus is only white because white people are good people. They brought education, they brought medication, they are helping us, they are giving us IMF, they are helping countries that are fighting. That means they are godly people. So that is, they are saying. So he was saying that no black people can do something like that. And I was starting to believe.
Yeah. You don't need
So
to
we
believe
have
in those. Yes, I'm listening.
we have stories. If you go from one pastor to another, and I came to ask myself, by the way, to be a Christian, to be a pastor, to be a reverend, you need to go to learn. You cannot be ordained if you have not gone to school. So, but African spirituality, how we were praising ourselves, you facing the lake, others going to the mountain, lawyers under the tree, and it did not need any education, extra education. But for this Christianity or this religion, you need to go to be taught. What are you going to learn? And yet you are a person who is ordained by God himself. What are you going to learn there? So I put question mark on these issues too. Personally, I don't know if you are getting me or understanding what I'm trying to say.
Okay. There are some people who go through that ordainship, through that period. You find that he's telling,
They're going to school to learn
like,
about
I
to
want
be
to
a
be a
pastor.
pastor, I want to be a bishop. So when they're being told actually the truth. So when someone realizes the truth, he will stop from there and will say that no, there's no need of becoming a Christian. So I'm going back to my African roots. And actually,
Yeah.
if you see the differences between the Christianity, or let me talk about the religion and
Mm-hmm.
spirituality, you'll find that there is so much strict rules which are making people to suffer right now. If you want to
Mm-hmm.
be very, very free man, you need to start focusing on the spirituality, because these are things which you can do about manifestation. You can follow the laws of the world. Like we have the laws of assumption. We have many laws which are describing the earth, and these are things which people are not talking about. But when you go to religion, like when you talk about the Muslims no longer, they don't allow their women to face themselves, or to wear these naked clothes which are showing their
Mm-hmm.
face or their legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you go to Christianity, you'll find that people are following the 10 commandments, that I don't need to steal, I don't need to do this, because when I follow these 10 commandments, I may go to heaven. Or when I do this, I may go to heaven. And actually, these are things which are not existing. Our ancestors did them, but they were not helpful. The only thing that were helpful is about the Christianity, is about the spirituality, where
Mm-hmm.
you are supposed to appease your ancestors. It is through this appeasing of your ancestors you'll get anything you want in this world. So everything contains spirituality, right from the
Mm-hmm.
moon, right from women menstruating, right from many things
Mm-hmm.
contains spirituality. The falling of tides and the rising of tides. Those are
Mm-hmm.
types of things which are depicting what is actually happening in this world.
Yeah. So, why do you think? Why do you think a lot of black people? Okay, we may say white people or the whites. A lot of them, they know the truth. They know the truth, but they are, you know, they don't want to. They don't want to tell out the truth, but they know the truth. Why do you think black people cannot? Most of them, like, let me tell you for free, like 80% or 90% of black people, they are denying the fact that Jesus is black. Why do you think it's like that?
One is because about restriction. Majority of people don't have media to show or to
Mm,
tell the truth.
mm,
They are only listening, or they actually want to experience this in Africa.
mm,
And that's why you find that
mm,
many people want to come to Africa to experience these, the African roots, or
mm,
their ancestral ways. And we are talking about the Black Americans. The Black
mm,
Americans, like I said, 80% of them knows who the true Jesus is. Like when you go to European countries, the Western countries, right now
mm,
you'll find that many churches are not full. Many people are not attending churches. And there's a
mm,
street interview which I saw where they were being asked, "Do you believe in Jesus?" And people are saying no. Like 90% of the people in that video were saying no, Jesus is not is not God. Jesus is not
mhm.
this. We don't believe in Jesus. Yeah, so 80% of people know that we are actually not worshiping the right Jesus, and that is the white Jesus. Like when you go to the churches, you'll find that right now people are ordaining, or they're having this wedding of lesbians, they're having wedding
Mm,
of gayism. So it means that Christianity has really fallen, and people are actually not believing into it. And people are waking up
yeah.
and saying that I better go to my African root. I better start believing in what the earth really is. I better start studying my body. I better start
Mhm,
studying the earth. Yeah, so these are the kind of things which are really helpful, and not Christianity, where you find that someone spends almost 20 years depicting about a history which actually never had happened and were written
mm,
by human beings. So
mhm.
that's how it is. It is.